God says, Archangel Michael says, "Today I am feeling deep pity for you. My heart is heavy because you are far too innocent, and the one you trust the most has been secretly stealing your miracles for the past 7 years. You cannot see it with your physical eyes, but heaven has been watching, and the angels have been pleading with God to allow the truth to be revealed. For days and nights, the hosts of heaven bent their knees before the throne, crying out for your name, crying out for your justice, and today God has finally allowed the veil to be lifted. But beloved, there is urgency because you only have 20 minutes to hear this message before it vanishes forever, and if you miss it, the enemy will continue to rob you without interruption. That is why you are being urged to open it now. For 7 long years, blessings meant for you have been redirected, answered prayers have been delayed, doors that should have opened with ease have been slammed shut before you could even touch the handle. You thought it was just misfortune, you thought maybe God was not listening, but the truth is darker and deeper than you realized. Someone very close to you, someone whose presence you trusted, has been whispering against you in secret, building invisible walls to keep your miracles locked away, pretending to love you outwardly while quietly exchanging your portion for their own gain. They did not do it with their own power, but by using hidden words, hidden acts, and hidden manipulations that twisted the flow of your blessings. Archangel Michael says this betrayal pierced heaven like a sharp cry. Every time you prayed, every time your tears fell, the angels were dispatched to carry your requests before God's throne. But as soon as the answers were released, as soon as the miracles began descending toward you, a hidden hand intercepted them, stealing from you what was already rightfully yours. This is why for years you have felt delays, confusion, sudden blockages that made no sense. You thought maybe you weren't ready, maybe God was testing you. But no, my beloved, you were always ready. The test was not yours, the test was for the one who was near you, and they failed it miserably. For 7 years they have been siphoning your blessings, covering their tracks, smiling in your face while stabbing you in the spirit. And yet, because of your innocence and your pure heart, you never suspected them. You defended them, you carried them, you trusted them. Heaven watched in silence as this injustice continued until the cries of the angels reached the courts of God. And finally, today, the righteous judge has declared, "Enough is enough." Finally, the name of the one who betrayed you will be revealed. But Archangel Michael warns, you cannot delay, for the enemy knows that their time is short. Even now, as these words reach you, they are scrambling, fearful, desperate to keep their secret hidden. If you hesitate, if you close your ears for even a moment, the truth will vanish, and it will be as if you never saw this window of revelation. Heaven is giving you one final chance to know the name, to reclaim the miracle stolen, to rise from the ashes of betrayal into the fullness of your destiny. Think back, beloved. 7 years ago, something shifted. Opportunities began slipping from your hands, relationships that seemed secure crumbled without explanation, finances drained faster than they should have, health challenges rose from nowhere. That was the beginning of the theft. Heaven marked it. The angels wrote it down. Your book of life shows the sudden gap, the missing pieces, the withheld promises. It was not God's will for you to suffer this way. It was the betrayal of someone you loved. Archangel Michael says, "My sword has been sharpened for this hour." The chains that bound your miracles are about to be cut. But the revelation must enter your spirit. You must accept it. You must not turn away in disbelief. For the betrayer is not a stranger, not a distant enemy. It is the one you leaned on most, the one you trusted more than others. The wound is deep, but the healing will be greater. The angels begged for days because they could not bear to see your heart crushed by delay after delay. Gabriel himself bent before God, saying, "Father, this child has remained faithful despite every stolen blessing. Will you not intervene?" And God, in His great mercy, said, "Today, the truth shall be unveiled. Today, my child shall know. Today, justice begins." Archangel Michael is weeping for you because you did not know, you did not see, and yet you blamed yourself, thinking you were the reason for the lack, the pain, the closed doors. But now you must understand it was not your fault. Every good gift was already released to you, but it was intercepted. The one who betrayed you masked themselves in love, but their intentions were poisoned with envy and greed. The name is heavy, the name is close, the name is one you will recognize instantly. And once it is revealed, you will see how everything aligns, how every missing piece suddenly makes sense. God allowed the delay only to make the exposure undeniable, because when you see it, you will not doubt. You will not hesitate. You will know it is true. For 7 years you have walked carrying invisible chains, but in the next few moments those chains will break. Archangel Michael is already standing by your side, his wings spread wide, his sword raised high, guarding you from interference. The betrayer cannot stop this revelation anymore. The heavenly court has overruled their resistance. The truth is on its way. And beloved, there is more, the miracles stolen from you are not lost forever. They have been stored in the vaults of heaven, waiting for this very day of release. Once the betrayer's name is spoken, once the exposure is complete, those miracles will come rushing back to you like a flood. Prayers you thought unanswered will suddenly manifest, doors that were locked will fly open, opportunities you thought were gone forever will return with even greater power. God is restoring not just what was stolen, but sevenfold more because He is a God of justice. Archangel Michael says, "Do not harden your heart, do not let disbelief silence your faith." You have 20 minutes. Heaven is timing this moment carefully. The window is open now, but soon it will close, and if you let it pass, you may not see it again for another cycle. That is why the urgency burns in these words. That is why the angels cry out with such intensity. Beloved, hear me, the betrayal was real, but so is the restoration. The pain was deep, but so is the healing. The theft lasted 7 years, but the recovery will last for the rest of your life. God Himself is standing as witness. Archangel Michael is standing as protector. The angels are standing as intercessors, and the truth is about to stand before you in undeniable clarity. You are innocent. You are chosen. You are beloved. And though someone you trusted tried to write a different story for you, heaven's script has prevailed. Your destiny cannot be erased, only delayed, and the delay ends now. Open your heart. Open your spirit. Receive what heaven is releasing. The betrayer's name is ready to be revealed. The miracles are ready to return. The angels are rejoicing already because they see the victory that is yours. Do not wait. Do not delay. The countdown is already moving. 20 minutes is all you have, and then this message will vanish forever. Beloved child of God, the time is now. Open quickly. The one who betrayed you for 7 years is about to be exposed. God says, this is not an ordinary moment. This is not an ordinary day. This is not an ordinary whisper carried into your soul. This is the hour that angels in heaven have been waiting for, the moment when Archangel Michael himself bows close to your spirit and speaks words that you may never hear again if you choose to turn away. He says, today, his heart feels heavy, his wings tremble, and his voice breaks with pity because you are far too innocent and because innocence can be both the greatest treasure and the most dangerous vulnerability. For 7 years, beloved, the one you trusted the most has been secretly stealing your miracles. The blessings that were destined to be placed into your hands, the breakthroughs that were carved with your name upon them, the opportunities that should have blossomed like flowers at your feet, they were intercepted, hijacked, redirected, hidden away by the very person you believed would protect you, defend you, love you, and stand by you. And now, Archangel Michael says, the angels who guard the throne of God begged day after day for permission, pleaded with God with tears in their eyes and fire in their voices, asking if they could reveal the truth to you because your soul could not keep wandering in this blindness forever. God in His mercy has allowed this moment. Heaven has decided that the curtain must be pulled back. But Michael says, you only have 20 minutes to receive this revelation, for it is written in the book of time that this message shall vanish like smoke if you do not open your heart now. The divine realm does not speak endlessly without reason. When God gives a revelation, it comes with urgency, and when Michael speaks, it comes with the weight of eternity pressing upon you. And right now, the truth is trembling to burst forth. For 7 years, beloved, 7 years, beloved, 7 long years, you wondered why things felt delayed, why prayers seemed unanswered, why doors were locked when you stood before them in tears, why relationships broke when you gave everything, why money slipped through your hands like water, why jobs and positions you deserved were handed to another, why even in health and strength you were attacked. You thought perhaps it was chance, perhaps it was fate, perhaps it was some flaw within you. But heaven says today, it was not you, it was not your fault, it was not a lack in you, it was betrayal, and the betrayal was close, closer than you could have ever imagined. The one you trusted, the one whose name you would have defended, the one whose face you would never have suspected, this is the one who secretly stole what was meant for you. Michael says they sat quietly, smiling in your presence, pretending to cheer you, pretending to protect you, but all along they were carrying your miracles like a thief in the night. Every time a blessing descended with your name, they placed themselves in the shadows to intercept it. Every time a door of breakthrough swung open in the spirit, they rushed ahead to slam it shut before you even knew it was there. For 7 years they played this game, feeding on your delay, profiting from your innocence, thriving in your blindness. And heaven could watch no more. Michael says his heart burns because he has fought so many battles for you in the spirit. He has wielded his sword against enemies seen and unseen, he has scattered demons that rose against your life, but betrayal is different. Betrayal is the dagger thrust from the closest hand, and that is what wounded heaven the most. Angels cried because you prayed with such purity, you trusted with such honesty, you gave without holding back, and yet the very one you held closest took advantage of that light. God says this is your hour of exposure. Michael says, I reveal this because you must know. I reveal this because you must rise. I reveal this because if you do not, your destiny remains locked behind chains not placed by enemies outside, but by betrayal inside. The truth must come because freedom only comes through truth. For 7 years, the number of completion, the cycle has repeated itself. But now, by the command of the Most High, the cycle breaks. You feel the trembling in your spirit even now, don't you? You feel that rush in your heart that tells you something hidden is about to be exposed. That is not fear, beloved, that is your spirit responding to truth. Michael says, heaven has waited too long to speak this into you. But listen closely, the window is small. 20 minutes. That is the divine clock ticking. Because revelation is like lightning. If it strikes and you do not see it, it does not wait for you. Think back. Remember the relationships you had 7 years ago. Remember who was closest to you. Remember who you shared your heart with. Remember who had access to your secrets, your trust, your prayers, your plans. Think of the one who smiled most brightly, yet left you feeling strangely diminished after you were with them. Think of the one who always seemed to know when your breakthroughs were near. The one who suddenly shifted when your prayers were about to be answered. That is the one. Michael says their name is rising into your mind even now. And though fear grips you, you know heaven is confirming it. For 7 years, they siphoned your blessings. But today the angels have written a decree. What was stolen must be restored. What was delayed must now be accelerated. What was withheld must be multiplied and placed in your hands. But for this decree to activate, you must acknowledge what heaven has shown you. Do not deny it. Do not push it aside. Do not tell yourself it cannot be. Michael says, I pity you because innocence made you blind. But pity is turning into power because exposure will make you strong. God says, beloved, the story is not over. Betrayal does not mean the end. Betrayal means that now you know, and now that you know, you can stand. You can reclaim. You can lift your voice and declare no more theft, no more delay, no more silent sabotage. The one who betrayed you will face the justice of heaven and you will walk in the restoration that angels have already prepared. Michael says, I plead with you. Do not waste these 20 minutes. Do not treat this as words on a page. Treat this as the thunder of heaven shaking you awake. You must see it. You must know it. You must receive it. Because if you let this moment pass, the cycle of theft may continue and your blessings will slip once again into the wrong hands. Heaven cannot allow that, but heaven also will not force your eyes open. That is why this message comes with urgency. Open your heart. Let the revelation flood you and stand in the tree. Stand in the truth that heaven is unveiling. Beloved, you have been innocent, but you are not meant to remain blind. Innocence with blindness leads to captivity, but innocence with revelation leads to destiny. This is why Michael says his heart is heavy, because he has watched you pray. He has watched you weep. He has watched you wait, and all along the answer was intercepted. But today, no more. Today, heaven has declared exposure. The one who betrayed you for 7 years, the one who stole your miracles, the one who ate at your table yet took from your plate, the one who smiled while emptying your hands. Their name is now written before the throne. God has seen. Michael has spoken. Angels have confirmed. And though your heart will ache when you admit it, your soul will rise when you embrace it. Because the truth, even when painful, is the sword that cuts the chains. Do not be afraid, beloved. God is with you. He says nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe, but you must trust Him. You must pray to Him. You must open your spirit and let this revelation settle deep. The heavens are with you, the angels surround you, and Michael himself will not leave your side as you confront this truth. This is your hour. This is your chance. 20 minutes. Do not let it vanish. God says, Archangel Michael speaks, and I am carrying this urgent message straight into your heart. Beloved soul. Today, I am trembling with the weight of truth, and my wings are heavy because I must reveal something that has been hidden from you for far too long. For 7 long years, the very one you trusted the most, the one who stood closest to you, the one who smiled when you smiled, has been secretly stealing your miracles, quietly removing your blessings, silently delaying your destiny, and covering you in shadows when you were meant to shine in the light. You thought they loved you. You thought they supported you. You thought they were the one protecting you, but in truth they were the hand that blocked your prayers from reaching their full release. This is not my opinion. This is not a whisper. This is the truth straight from the throne of God, and heaven itself wept as this was revealed. Archangel stood before the throne for days, begging God to let you see what had been covered. Angels cried out, Father, your beloved one is innocent, far too innocent, and they cannot even imagine the betrayal standing so near. And God, in His mercy, listened. He delayed the exposure again and again because He wanted to give the person, the one who betrayed you, a chance to repent. But they did not. They hardened their heart. They grew even bolder, thinking their theft would never be uncovered, believing that darkness would always win over innocence. But beloved, today, heaven had decided differently. Today, at this very hour, God opened His mouth, and the command went forth, revealed. Expose it. Speak it now. And so I, Michael, the one who has fought for you in battles unseen, the one who stood guard when demons tried to touch you, the one who has lifted my sword again and again for your safety, now stand before you weeping, not because you failed, but because you have been too pure to notice the poison beside you. My heart is heavy with pity, because you should have been soaring higher, you should have been walking in abundance, you should have been celebrating miracles upon miracles. Instead, you have been delayed, diverted, and sabotaged, not by an enemy outside, but by one you trusted the most. Do you feel the trembling in your spirit as you read this? That is your soul recognizing truth. Do you feel the shiver in your bones? That is your spirit awakening to the reality of what has been hidden. You must not turn away. You must not delay. Because this message is only open for a moment. Heaven has commanded that within 20 minutes, this revelation must vanish, and if you do not open your eyes now, if you do not accept the truth now, you may walk another 7 years in blindness. Beloved, don't let that happen. For 7 years, every time a miracle was prepared for you, they intercepted. Every time an angel delivered blessings with your name, they diverted. Every time your breakthrough stood at the door, they whispered against you and delayed it. They rejoiced secretly when you cried. They pretended to comfort you when in truth they were celebrating your pain. They are the one who smiled as you prayed, but in the unseen they stole the answers meant for you. How heavy is this truth? Even I, who have witnessed countless battles, feel sorrow that you must learn it this way. But God says, it is better to expose than to let you remain in the dark. Think back, beloved. 7 years ago, your life reached a point where things suddenly shifted. Promises began to delay. Blessings felt blocked. Struggles increased when you should have entered ease. Do you remember? That was not coincidence. That was the exact time this betrayal began. They saw your light. They knew your potential. They recognized that if you walked in your full destiny, nothing could stop you. And rather than celebrate, they grew envious. Rather than support, they grew deceitful. They took what was never theirs and claimed it as their own. That is why, for 7 years, you have wondered, why does it feel like I'm stuck? Why do I pray and fast, yet something seems to always snatch it away? Beloved, it wasn't God ignoring you. It wasn't heaven closing its doors. It was betrayal by the one. Beloved, listen closely, because this is not an ordinary message. This is not something to pass by or to delay. Heaven has paused its own rhythm to speak to you directly, and Archangel Michael himself carries this truth into your spirit with trembling hands. God says, today is unlike any other day you have lived before. For 7 years, something precious has been stolen from you in silence. For 7 years, blessings that had your name written on them were intercepted. For 7 years, miracles meant to rest in your hands were turned aside, delayed, or stripped away by someone standing so close to you that your heart trusted them without question. You saw their face with kindness, but heaven saw their hands with theft. You heard their words with love, but heaven heard their thoughts with betrayal. Archangel Michael says, even now as I deliver this word, his heart is heavy with sorrow, because he has watched you carry burdens that were never meant to be yours. You thought the delays were your fault. You thought perhaps you were not praying enough, not fasting enough, not believing enough. But Michael says, no, beloved, it was never that. It was the hidden work of the one who smiled before you yet secretly closed doors behind you. For days and nights, angels stood before the throne of God asking, pleading, interceding, Father, let them know the truth. They have suffered too long without understanding. Reveal the thief who has touched their portion. And God, in his infinite wisdom, held back until now. He says, the time has come. They have endured enough in silence. Today, I permit the veil to be torn. Today, I allow the name to be revealed. But they must open their heart quickly, for this moment will not last. The truth is given in a small window, and then it is withdrawn, because heaven does not allow divine secrets to remain long in human delay. That is why you have only minutes, beloved. The clock of heaven is not like the clock of man. Archangel Michael whispers to you, the one who betrayed you is not distant, not a stranger, not an enemy you once fought. No, beloved, it is one you thought was your cover, your friend, your safety, your trust. This is why you never saw it. You would never look for a serpent in the hand that offered you water. You would never imagine that someone who held you when you were broken could also steal from you when you were not looking. That is why you were blind, and that is why the angels grieved. God says, do not be afraid. Even though you feel your chest tighten with this knowledge, even though you feel tears rising in your eyes, know this, every single blessing that was stolen can and will be restored by His hand. Every single miracle that was delayed will not only find you but will come multiplied. For God does not allow theft to end with loss. He turns it into restoration, into testimony, into glory. For 7 years you have carried heaviness. For 7 years you wondered why doors seemed half opened and then shut again. For 7 years you asked, Lord, am I forgotten? And heaven cried, no, child, you are not forgotten. You are preserved. You are chosen. But there is one near you who has drawn from your light without permission. And now the truth breaks through the clouds. Michael says, your prayers were not wasted. Your tears were not wasted. Every cry you made in the night was written before the throne. He himself carried them upward like burning incense, and God inhaled every one. He knows how your heart was pure, how you trusted too easily, how your innocence made you vulnerable. He says, do not despise your innocence. It is what makes you beloved in heaven. The betrayal is not your fault. The theft is not your fault. You are still spotless in His eyes, and your purity of heart is why God has chosen this moment to reveal what has been hidden. The name, yes, beloved, it trembles before the lips of Michael. Heaven is cautious because when truth like this comes, it is not just information, it is transformation. When the name falls, your perspective will change, your relationships will shift, and your path will never again be the same. God allows you to know only when He has already prepared your spirit for the shock. That means you are strong enough now to carry this revelation, though it may feel unbearable in the first moment. Even as you read, the Spirit of God is moving inside you, stirring, bringing to your mind memories, encounters, patterns you ignored. You will begin to see small clues you dismissed, times when you felt uneasy but silenced yourself. Moments when something didn't add up, but you told yourself it was nothing. Now heaven gathers those fragments and shines a light on them, and suddenly they make sense. Suddenly you see the picture you could not see before. Beloved, Michael says, he does not bring this message to destroy your trust in people forever, but to protect you from giving your trust strongly again. For too long you have opened your arms without discerning hearts. For too long you have assumed that everyone who smiles is sincere. God says, this revelation is not to harden you, but to sharpen you. You will learn the difference between words and spirit, between appearances and truth. From this day forward, your eyes will see deeper than before. Heaven says, take courage. The one who betrayed you has already lost their power over your life. Yes, they may still smile, they may still sit close, but spiritually their grip has been broken. The angels themselves cut the cords that tied your blessings to their hand. Even as you read this, restoration has begun. Doors are opening again. Prayers that seemed unanswered will suddenly unfold. Opportunities that vanished will return. Love that was blocked will flow. Money that was lost will be replaced. Health that was drained will be renewed. Because when God exposes, He does not leave you empty, He fills you double. Do not waste your tears in hatred, beloved. Do not let your heart grow bitter. That is what the enemy desires. Instead, stand in awe, because this exposure is a sign that your season of hiding is over. This is the mark that your destiny is breaking free. Michael says, remember this, you have only a short time to receive this word fully. It will not remain long. Heaven allows such revelations only for those who are awake in the moment. If you turn away, if you delay, if you shrug it off, it will vanish like mist in the sun, and you will return to wandering without answers. That is why this urgency presses on your chest. That is why you feel the pull so strongly now. It is because your soul recognizes that this is not ordinary. God says, He is with you. He shields you even now. You are safe. No weapon formed against you will prosper. No scheme, no secret, no theft can overcome the hand of the Almighty stretched over you. Trust Him. Believe Him. Let His Spirit comfort you as you process this truth. Pray, beloved. Whisper His name. Call upon His strength. And as you do, you will feel His peace descend on you like a soft blanket over your weary soul. Beloved, Archangel Michael bends before you not to be worshipped but to show you the seriousness of this message. He says, child of God, you are loved too much to remain blind any longer. Heaven has fought for this moment. Do not take it lightly. Hold the truth. And step forward knowing that your destiny is secure. And God says, finally, with great tenderness, you will not be the same after today. You will rise. You will see. And you will walk in the fullness of every miracle that belongs to you. Beloved soul, hear this message with your whole heart, for heaven is speaking to you in this moment, and the weight of what is being revealed is not something small. God says, Archangel Michael is bowing low before you with tears in his eyes, because he knows how pure your spirit has been, how innocent your trust has remained, and how much you have endured without knowing the truth. For years you have prayed for miracles. You have cried silently at night when no one saw your tears. You have asked why blessings seemed delayed, why breakthroughs slipped from your hands at the last second, and why your joy was always interrupted. Today, beloved, God Himself has commanded the angels to speak openly, because the time of silence is over. The truth is not to harm you, but to set you free. Michael says with urgency, my child, I feel deep pity for you because your heart has been so tender, yet for 7 long years, the one you trusted most has secretly stolen from you, not only earthly opportunities but the very miracles that heaven released for you. These miracles were meant to bring you healing, abundance, reconciliation, restoration, and joy. They were released from the throne of God, but this person intercepted, delayed, or diverted them with hidden intentions. Heaven wept watching this unfold. Angels begged God to allow the veil to be torn because your destiny has been suffering too long in secret. At last, today, God agreed. The hour has come. The Beloved soul understand this. When heaven releases a blessing, it cannot be destroyed, but it can be delayed, blocked, or hidden. The enemy often uses those closest to you, because your trust in them opens a doorway. This is why betrayal is one of the deepest wounds of the soul. For 7 years, every step you took forward was shadowed by the unseen hands of the betrayer. And yet, through it all, God preserved you. You are still alive, still standing, still able to receive this urgent word. That itself is a miracle. Your preservation is proof that heaven has never abandoned you. Archangel Michael cries out, "The one who betrayed you has walked beside you, spoken words of care, and pretended to be a shield, yet in secret they were drawing power from your miracles. They were feeding off what was meant to elevate you." This explains why certain doors closed at the last moment, why sudden losses appeared without cause, and why promises made to you by others fell apart at the edge of fulfillment. It was not because you were unworthy. It was because someone who should have